seems like a cover-up to me, because he's got a lot of, it's a good old buddy system out in Bullitt County, and they all know each other.
The Gaston family just wants their trust fund money back, and they've been fighting for it for years.
It's pretty tough. My mother and sister have both died since then. And it's been a long battle for me.
John Schmidt is well known in Bullitt County.
Over the course of decades, Mr. Schmidt was lining his own pockets with money that belonged either to his clients or the state of Kentucky.
The courts appointed him as a county master commissioner in 1992. He was also the county public administrator.
So a master commissioner conducts judicial sales on foreclosed properties. That's their primary job. And in those roles, he was able to access a variety of accounts and had access to a lot of funds.
He was someone people trusted with their trust funds, and he was appointed to the Gaston family estate. The family says they got a call from the bank saying their trust fund was about to run out, so Larry Gaston's mother called Schmidt.
Her monthly allowance was $3,500 a month for her to live on. So she calls him up. He tells her, said, no, everything's fine. Said, I've got money in a different bank, and I'll transfer it over to that.
Did you believe him at that point when he said that?
Yeah,
what did she think?
She did. Trouble started when we started asking for where the money was going to. He would never give us any statements. We kept asking for statements.
Okay, are we on the record?
And that was the issue the Administrative Office of Courts, the AOC, found too.
I'm Mike Sullivan. I'm chair of the Judicial Conduct Commission.
During this hearing in June 2021, only Schmidt's attorney was present.
I don't have a client present. And the reason for that is because he's followed the advice of counsel. As a result of matters that I really can't get into, he's not able to present and be here today.
The AOC auditor talked about Schmidt's bookkeeping, an audit after audit from the sales of foreclosed properties.
There were multiple promises from the Master Commissioner to me personally that he would provide those bank statements before I left. That didn't happen.
The auditor found, starting in 2008 and continuing until 2019, was that funds were missing from the Master Commissioner account. In 2008, it was approximately $67,000.
In Schmidt's last audit in 2019, the state found he had misappropriated funds, including $81,000, and had directed payments to the wrong accounts. In 2021, a state commission that oversees judicial conduct found Schmidt was guilty of misconduct and had misappropriated that money.
Indicate that this was not just a one-time event where a recommendation was made and it was fixed. This was a repetitive, ongoing practice throughout the terms of those audits.
WDRB first learned about Schmidt on December 10, 2019, when he was reported missing.
63-year-old John Schmidt was reported missing yesterday.
The Bullitt County Sheriff's Office said at that time he was endangered and needed life-saving medication. Nearly 2 weeks later, he was found safe and no other information was released. Now WDRB has learned the day he disappeared is the same day he was quietly removed from his court-appointed position. No criminal charges have been filed against him.
This was not, one guy who maybe had bad accounting practices. This was, fraud on a huge scale.
I've got a lot of questions as to why in the actual hell this has been allowed to go on.
Shelley Alvey was appointed Master Commissioner after Schmidt. She held that job from 2019 through December 31st of last year, then became the Bullitt County Assistant County Attorney.
The Master Commissioner's office here, at any given time, is operating and responsible for between $2 to $3 million. And he stole money, and they were permitting him, they worked out an agreement with him that he was going to be able to pay it back. I then received a check directly in the mail to the Master Commissioner's office from John Schmidt that allowed him to pay back $81,000.
The Gaston family filed this lawsuit against Schmidt, his wife, and others. The suit claims Schmidt transferred at least $194,500 from the Gaston Trust Fund to various bank accounts in his name, his firm's name, or joint accounts with his spouse. Another lawsuit filed against Schmidt in 2021 claims he transferred $240,500 from someone's estate to himself. That lawsuit was settled last fall, and the terms are confidential. As for the Gaston case, it's not known exactly where their money went. Gaston says Schmidt has paid back some of it, but still owes them a lot more.
Without the interest being added on to it, it's like $130,000.
What would you like to see happen?
I don't want John to go to jail or anything like that, but just want the money paid back.
WDRB tried contacting Schmidt, his wife, and his attorney.
This is Valerie Chen with WDRB News.
No one answered or returned our calls and emails.
What are your thoughts on him still having a law license, even though it's inactive?
Well, he can't practice, but if you look him up on the KBA website, he's listed as an inactive lawyer who doesn't have any history of discipline. And so he has, to the outside world, a clean record. None of this ever happened. It has been referred to local law enforcement as well as federal law enforcement. To this day, Mr. Schmidt is still playing golf.
With photojournalist Darius Bowie, Valerie Chen, WDRB News.